Louise Jannetta Gallery and Studio again. I just wanted to do a little video to consolidate the things that I've been doing the last 3 or 4 videos about the way that paint pigment is spread over the water surface tension of water. I've done a few bits and pieces just as demos. There's been some really lovely pieces that came out, and I'd really like to do just a few things that would sort of show what these ideas could be used for, or just health in the long run. And of course, if you have any suggestions yourself, please put them in the comments below. It's really, really early days yet, so the idea is I'm going to do a few things over a period of time which will show you how these can be used, and I will probably be focusing on doing abstracts. But you could use them for journaling. You can use the flower ones that I've got, or the feathers. There's so many good ideas with this, and I've got some very good ideas for stenciling as well. So please stick around, like and subscribe, and you'll be notified when more of these videos come up. I hope you enjoy this one, and thank you very much for watching. Just lay the string across, what I've done before, and I wet the string first. So I lay it on wet, and then I'm just adding colour to it now. We'll do that. I've got pipettes for the different colours, and they're just the colours I've got left over. I'm just experimenting. Oops, just got a dollop on there, but you generally can take them off. I don't like just the yellow. Well, I do, but I don't think it's strong enough for this. Both of these again. I don't mind a bit of spillage, but I don't want it to look like a dollop. I've got some dark blue here. I'm going to mix it with a bit of green. Okay, let's see what happens. I want a bit more pink on there. Okay, that's it. See what happens. It's difficult to tell because some of the marks are from the strings that I put underneath. I don't know whether to wet it, but I think I can see that the pigment is pooling in it. I'm going to just leave it. I'll make sure that... Is it actually going to mark? Yes, it's going to mark. It needs a bit more character. No. Blue one. Let's see what happens. Hello. So I've got the strings laid across. You saw me put the paint on. Now I'm just going to lift the strings off. And it was just sort of layering, gradually layering. So there was some strings that I put down first and then put the fabric on top, I think it was. And then these are on top of everything once it's all dry. And they're lovely. Oops, that's actually stuck down. So again, you have to get it before it actually... Oh, it's okay, it's not ripping the paper. Before it's stuck down onto the paper. But I mean, if it was canvas, it wouldn't stick down, but it equally doesn't transfer the pigment across so much because the canvas isn't so absorbent. So that's those. And you could, like, this is the beginning, you could control the pigment more than I have done. And I've definitely got too much pink in there. I wanted more blue, but I still love it. I still love the way it mark makes. And again, like, what's it like as an abstract? You put a mount round it, you get these lovely, lovely effects from it all. And you could even go the other way with some strings as well and bring it out even more with some blue. And that would be nice. They're just so nice, aren't they? So that's that one. Okay, so I've ended up with these lovely things, the flowers that I've cut out from a previously made piece of paper. The paper wasn't good. It was a bit too absorbent and soft, and it had this strange effect, which is quite nice. But I did that, and the actual pieces that I'd used to make the flowers with in the first place, to paint the flowers with the first one, are beautiful in themselves. And I found that because of the binder in the acrylic, it actually got rid of some of the fraying of the edges of the fabric. So I thought these would look really lovely either on a piece of tissue paper themselves, and then you could actually sew through it, or stuck down onto muslin. These, I think you could put between tissue paper and finish them off with or just stick them onto tissue paper. I'm absolutely loving what there is to do with these. You know how you can keep going with them. So those are the ones I did with the fabric on, and then I cut them out. And those are the fabric pieces which I put between tissue paper, and then I glazed it with matte glaze, matte medium. These, what a mess, Lulu. And there were these. So these are, instead of it being the muslin, it's very thin jersey. It was an old vest. And I mean, they are lovely. I don't know if you can see them, but they're very relieved. The jersey sort of folded back on itself, and I really like how it's taken. I mean, I'd like them just as a collage. You know, I think they're really nice. I think you could really do nice things with these. I was going to lift them off, and of course, the stuff themselves, as they dry, the jersey gets very stuck to the paper. I think it's interesting as well, although the jersey's taken up the colour, it isn't transferred onto the paper like the muslin is. It's much, the pigments have been absorbed by the papers, but don't they make lovely petals themselves? They're even nicer than the muslin ones because they have absorbed so much of the pigment, and they would be lovely to do collages with. Yeah, I'm going to really enjoy that. So that's another thing. Look at them, they're gorgeous. And they're really lovely. And what's left behind is, again, it's this business where the water is absorbed. The water and the pigments have been absorbed by the fabrics. The edges of the piece seem to be defined. It's almost where the water surface tension of the water. So something's happening that is pushing the pigment to the edges of the things. And it's similar to what happens when you do a watercolor. You drop the water on the paper, and then you drop the pigment in, and it moves throughout the drop of water, and it settles in a ring where the water meets the paper. You can get nice effects with it, but you can get awful effects with it too. And these white bits are where I think it's stuck and it has torn it. Nonetheless, I quite like the whole aspect. I like the way one can use these to make these really lovely little shapes on the paper. It's such a funny way of painting, but whether it's too time consuming, I'm not sure. You see, even I've put those dark blues in, it hasn't really happened. This is on watercolor paper, by the way, that had stretched. But you see, again, you get these really funny little nice effects. They've got a real lovely tactile quality to them. I mean, you could actually just sew them together as little things you could sew onto garments. They're so nice. So there's loads of ideas in that one. There is such a lovely element of complete madness with this because these are the tissues that I use to wipe up excess inks and so on. But they themselves are lovely. Look. You know, you would be just the same. You would notice it and you would fall in love with them and keep them. It's impossible not to. And sometimes these can be separated because these are 2-ply. But aren't they lovely in themselves? They've got lovely haphazard mark making and the whole thing where you just find them on the floor or find them. It just is such a lovely aspect of the whole process. It just means that everything has to be kept. So I just wanted to show you how nice these can be. So this is an old mount and it's sort of looking to see at the focal point some interesting points where it might work as a minimalist piece. I must admit I really like them. So again, so many of them are nice. Like even that's nice. It would be difficult to decide how to divide up the piece of paper because so many of them are nice. But I'd really, really like to get this onto some sort of a piece of canvas. I mean, isn't that cute? So many of them are lovely. So that it wasn't on paper. It didn't necessarily have to be behind glass, and it had that really minimalistic look. So many bits of it are lovely. That piece was nice there. Look, I like that. I like that one, where you can see the edge of the paper just. Okay, so it was just an idea. I just wanted to show you, because do I take these off? Do I develop it further? Or do I really enjoy it just for what it is? Or, am I being stupid? Are these enough? Do I need to do any more? Can I just accept how nice they are in themselves? Am I being bonkers, basically?